So please welcome to the stage the wonderful guru herself, Bryony Gunson! Here she is, a vision in white.
Hello, welcome everyone. It's so good to be here again with you all. I know what you're thinking. ABBA tribute meets meditation. Maybe more like channeling my inner Elvis. It didn't feel very confident if I just didn't go all out, for this guided meditation. And yeah, today together, well, firstly, who was here last year and took part in the meditation we did together? Raise your hand, give me a whoop. Woo! So, as you all know, when you meditate with your friends, they then become your beautiful friends. So you already have so many beautiful friends in this room, and we're about to get a whole lot more. And as the introduction shared, I'll offer a little bit about my journey in the context of Confidence Live and the role that meditation has played in my life with allowing myself to feel more confident. But firstly, I'll share that despite these big transformations and this big healing journey that I've been on the last 10 years, the last few years have been really hard. And I like to think that in life, where I play around with this belief that everything is always working out for me. I'm channeling my inner Keanu Reeves when I say that. Woo! Thanks, Hannah. Everything is always working out for me. Or, how is everything always working out for me? Now, this is not me sprinkling glitter on shit and trying to make what is something really difficult and objectively hard okay, to the point that I don't have to feel those feelings. But rather, I allow myself to acknowledge the impact, the emotional impact of what's happening, and then allow there to be some curiosity. Okay, what is this situation teaching me? What can I learn about myself? What is life actually inviting me to embody? How is life inviting me to step up to the table? And I teach these techniques, meditation, breathwork, mindset coaching, to big companies like EY, The Telegraph, Santander. You get the picture. But I also support people individually, really helping them. I'm passionate about helping them meet their emotional challenges, because life is going to happen. It doesn't matter who you are, we all experience loss. And as Azim was sharing earlier so beautifully, we're all going to experience pain, emotional pain, physical pain. So for me, it's how can we learn how to be with that? And then to grow through those challenges. So in life, here's me confidently talking that way. Life is what's that, Bryony? You like to grow through challenges, do you? Well, going to give you some to grow through. So there is a mantra that one of my coaches and mentors called Brian Johnson, he talks about obstacles make me stronger. OMMS. And we're going to explore this in the meditation together. Obstacles make me stronger. Okay, so I've been playing around with this affirmation for a while. And then in the last just 7 weeks ago, my dad died. And when I was on the plane to Hong Kong to go and be with him, and I was bawling my eyes out on this Emirates flight, and this amazing stewardess with incredible red lipstick kept handing me tissues and asking me if I was okay. Through these snotty tears, I was already starting to write a speech about my dad. It was some way that I could try to make some sense of what was happening, to try to capture some of him that was still so fresh in my mind. And then when I arrived in Hong Kong, my stepmom asked me, she said, would you be prepared to speak? And I was like, yes. I host retreats, I do things like this, I'm going to speak, definitely. And she said, no, would you be prepared to lead the funeral, lead the service? And inside of me, some part of me was I don't know if I can do that. I just don't know if I have the resilience, if I have the bandwidth, the strength in me to show up in that way. So, because it's important to reach out to community, I messaged Kirsty. Kirsty Hulse. And I explained, and I said, I've been given this opportunity, and that's the way I saw it, as I've got this opportunity to step up for my dad and to show up for him. And I said, I don't know if I can do it. And so we had some back and forth, and Kirsty reminded me that it's okay. Whatever I choose to do, it's okay. So if I choose not to do it, that's okay. If I choose to do it, that's okay. If I'm crying the entire time through the whole thing, that's okay. And she also asked me, to trust myself, to listen deeply to what felt right, like in my gut. And although I had a story in my mind of I don't know if I can do that. I've never led a funeral before, and it was going to be an open casket funeral. I was like, I've never been to an open casket funeral, let alone my dad's funeral. So all these thoughts are running through my head, dialing up a stress response in my body, making me feel overwhelmed and scared. Really dialing up the volume on the grief that I was already feeling. But when I paused, and I breathed, and I took myself out for walks in nature, and did lots of snotty crying there as well, I asked myself so deeply, can I do this? And I thought what it would be like to think from the end, to be in that experience of saying I've done it. And although my mind said, I don't think I can do that. You know what my body said? My heart and my gut? Yes, I can do that. And only 8 days after my dad died, I stood up in front of 65 people, and I spent 2 hours guiding this ceremony. I had no idea what I was doing. I really didn't. I actually also wore white, and that's one of the reasons why I've worn white today. Because in the Taoist tradition, the family of the dead wear white to honor and signify the purity of that person. It's believed that when we die, we leave this earth just as pure and as innocent as when we arrive. And to quote Azim, I did it. I did it. I stood on that stage. Well, stayed. Thank you. Yeah. And the reason why I share that is because if I hadn't had those tools to drop into my body, it would have been okay if I had said no. Of course it would have been. But to me, it was like life was asking me, Bryony, do you want to take this step? And my conditioning, these other parts of me said, no. But then more deeply, my body said, yes, we can do this. And so in this meditation practice, we're going to practice dropping into your body, to see what it's like to connect to your breath, which can act like a golden thread guiding you inwards. And often when we do these practices, that's exactly the time that the chatter in the mind starts to dial up. And that's okay. You're cultivating this awareness, the ability to see and witness yourself. And when we can see and witness ourselves, we start to take a bit more of a step back rather than being in a situation. And we can see things a bit more clearly. We start to see that there's other choices available to us. And maybe I don't need to listen to that voice in my head telling me I can't do this. You can probably relate to it. I'm not worthy. I'm not that type of person. That's for other people. And if we go around believing those thoughts and never questioning them, your life's probably pretty predictable. And you're just repeating cycles in the past. So, are you up for it? Us all dropping into this experience together? Give me a little enthusiastic nod if you're like, yeah. Okay, yeah. And I want you to know that in this short practice, everyone relates differently to these experiences. So if this is very intense for you for whatever reason, be kind to you. You're welcome to keep your eyes open if you need to, or just sit and receive the experience. There's no pressure to force yourself to take part. But can you trust in the co-regulation that Kirsty mentioned, that you have the support and the regulation of the other bodies and nervous systems in this space, that you have each other's backs? So I'll invite you to get comfortable in your seat. If you need to spin yourself back around, that's okay. Having your legs uncrossed, let's roll those shoulders back slightly just to open up through the front of the chest. And if you feel like doing so, you're welcome in a moment to close the eyes. Now, the reason why we do that is so much stimulation comes in through the eyes, into the optic nerve, and stimulates the brain. And it also means that so much of our attention is with the external world. And you know what? You can't control the external world. You can only control or work with your internal world. So let's do that together now. So if you feel comfortable to do so, closing down the eyes with that courage, with that confidence. If you need to keep the eyes open, that's okay. Noticing the stillness in the space, the anticipation as we start. And in your own time, let's take a slightly longer, luxurious, deep breath in through the nose, lengthening that breath out through the mouth. And can you let your breath be heard by the people around you? Taking another deep, nourishing inhale. Every cell in your body needs oxygen. Can you invite that deep breath in and allow it to exhale out through the mouth? Yeah, beautiful. Doing a few more of those breaths here. Can you slow it down slightly? Is there a bit more depth you can find just by slowing down? So you're not forcing your body to receive more breath, but rather allowing your body to receive more breath. And on your next breath, can you try flaring out the nostrils like you're smelling this fresh cut spring grass that's everywhere, inviting a more deep inhale all the way in. As we start to slow down in this way, perhaps you feel some dizziness or lightheadedness. Can we be curious about those sensations? I'll invite you here to place one hand on the belly, one hand on the chest. Either way around is fine, if you wish. And can you allow that softness of your belly, this vulnerable place, can you allow that to relax just a little bit? How often are we cutting our bodies by holding in this belly, by restricting this life force of our breath? Can you give yourself permission to let it all go? And let's take a lovely deep breath in here and honor your heart. Can you feel those front ribs expanding into that hand on your chest? Intentionally feeling that in-breath, pressing the palm of that hand on your chest into your body, feeling that connection to self. Trusting that you can't get this wrong. And let's take a moment to honor the softness of your belly, this vulnerable, emotional place. Taking a deep breath in, and can you feel in any way that belly expanding? Maybe it's very discreet, maybe it's very gentle. What if this body could be a safe space for your awareness to rest in? What if it was okay to slow down? What if it was okay to be kinder to this body? This body that's always been with you and will be until your final breaths here. Let's take another slightly more dynamic breath in here, releasing those hands either side of you. Taking another deep breath in through the nose, releasing that out through the mouth. We're so nearly there. For this final part of the meditation, staying focused, staying present. I'm going to acknowledge your capacity to be with obstacles, to be with challenges. Can you trust in what life is bringing you? And let's honor that with this OMS chant together. So, obstacles make me stronger. So we're going to do 3 of those OMS chants to finish. So let's all do a short exhale out through the mouth to sync up. Deep breath in. And then OM. beautiful. Let's take a deep cleansing breath in there first, and then just a normal release. On this second OMS, I want to hear you and feel you a little bit more. Let's take a deep breath fully in, and exhaling with the OM. One final rest breath in between, normal inhale, gentle release on the exhale. Really tuning into your power now, letting yourself be felt and heard. Deep breath fully in, and oming on that exhale. As you come to the end there, allowing this soft nose breath to flow. Being curious about how your body feels in this moment. As we start to gently lift out of the practice, still keeping the eyes closed if you wish, starting to invite a little bit of movement into this amazing body of yours. Moving those hands that create so much, spiraling out through the wrists or wiggling the fingers, flexing the ankles, scrunching the toes, wiggling the toes like they're saying hello to the mind. Yeah, and starting to gently stretch out the body a bit like when a dog or a cat wakes up from a nap. As we do these practices, sometimes it allows the body to start to soften. Very slowly, gently, blinking the eyes open. Perhaps allowing a little smile to tickle the corners of your mouth. And taking a moment to gaze around at your new beautiful friends. The people on the table. Yeah, well done for such a beautiful effort to do that together. And because I would love for you to continue to explore these practices of repetition. Kirsty said earlier, we learn through repetition. You can recalibrate your nervous system. You can rewire your subconscious mind. I have a whole host of beautiful practices here for you. Guided meditations, breathing practices, and a mindset coaching lesson. So this is my gift to you, from my grounded nervous system to yours. And just wanted to say thank you so much. Thank you for meditating with me, my beautiful friends, and wishing you well on your journey, and that you're able to continue to be curious about how life is happening for you and how everything may be working out for you. So thank you.
Confidence Live, give it up for Bryony Gunson. Bryony, before you go, that was so relaxing. Do you agree, everybody? It was so freeing to just allow your mind to be empty. I've got a question, and this is for me, so talk amongst yourselves. Is this a good thing to be doing before bed? Because I feel like in the modern age, we're constantly, until the last moment before sleep, we're doing something. Yeah. And I'm not saying it was boring, but I started to yawn.
Oh, yeah,
I felt so relaxed and so zen. So is that something that would be helpful?
Yeah. Great question. Who here also is yawning a bit in that practice, or you feel like you're yawning now? Yeah. So what happens is as we start to breathe more deeply, your body's like, thank God, they're starting to relax a little bit. So yawning is a fantastic way that your body is ushering in more oxygen and also starting to relax, to release and let go. So yawning is very welcome in my sessions. And yes, to answer your question, in fact, there's a great practice here. Shout out to people who came to training yesterday. Give me a shout out. Whoop, whoop. We did the 4-7-8 practice. It's a great breath practice. It's there in these resources. It's a fantastic one to do before you go to bed. So engaging in these breathing practices soothes and calms your animal body. That said, last night, I was like super amped up about today, so I couldn't really sleep. I was doing the breathing practices, and they weren't even touching the sides. So sometimes they may not really do what you want them to do, and that's okay, because we can just be curious about what our body is feeling and how that's working. So yes, you can use them before bed.
Amazing. One more time, everybody, for Bryony Gunson.
Thank you.